Today we need to talk about something very serious. What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode. And today we are going to be talking about doing what you're supposed to do even when you don't want to do it. A lot of people go, and they don't do what they're supposed to do, and that's what they're fucking up. So let me start by telling you a story. So, growing up, I didn't care about school. I didn't care about doing what I was supposed to do in life. All I cared about was doing drugs, getting laid, having fun. All I cared about. Because of that, I almost failed high school. Because of that, I didn't have any actual real friends. I had 1-2 real actual friends by the time high school ended. I could have had a lot more if I maybe decided not to do drugs and be high all the time. I was doing hard drugs back in high school. And my grade point average is horrible. I don't, really never went to college, nothing like that. And just the simple fact that I didn't instill the learning aspect into myself at a young age. Now, adult Ryan has had troubles learning and catching on to things. Current adult Ryan, I'm a lot better than I used to be. A lot better. Now I read philosophy books and psychology books, and I catch on to what they're doing, what they're saying. But 2-3 years ago, I wasn't catching on. Now let's look at after high school. After high school, I continued to just want to be high all the time. At that point in time, I started doing hard drugs. I was just smoking weed and drinking. That's all I wanted to do. I was working a measly 10 to 19 hours a week at Big Lots of all places. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. In high school, I wasn't focusing on grades or learning what I wanted to do with myself and my life. I said, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do that. So instead of focusing on what I should be doing in high school, or just figuring out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, I coasted being high and yada, yada, yada. Then, once I started needing to actually do something with my life, I'm 19, I just graduated high school, I need to do something. I go get a job at Big Lots, working 19, 10, sometimes 10, sometimes 19, somewhere between there, hours per week, making $12 an hour. Wasn't a whole bunch, wasn't that great. And I was hanging out with my friends, a couple friends from high school, and some new friends I made at Big Lots, go all up to do drugs and get high. And then I started dabbling into hard drugs again, and then I stopped doing that and stuck to weed and yada, yada, yada. And for years, I did this. I did this for 5 years. So now let's fast forward 5 years. I'm 24. I just got out of Big Lots finally. Now I'm an alarm technician. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But not fast enough. Not enough to where I can actually grow something of my own. At 24, I got my license. I should have that thing when I was 16. But I said, I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. So at 24, I get a license. I first have a license. I have an adult job, being an alarm technician, which I actually got fired from that job. Only job I've ever been fired from. I get fired from that job because I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough at learning yet because I didn't instill the learning trait in me when I was younger. So I get fired from that. And then I just kind of coast back into retail. And did this for a while until I met someone who helped kind of get my mind right and forced me to grow up a bit. And that's why I got into banking. And I learned that I have to do the things that I'm supposed to do in life. I learned that there's things you have to do. There's things you're supposed to do, and there's things you want to do. And you gotta do the things you have to do. That's that. You have to do them, you gotta do them. And then there's things you're supposed to do. Do the things you're supposed to do. If I did the things I was supposed to do, I'd be so much further in life right now at 28 than I currently am. I would be years ahead of what I currently am. I wouldn't have wasted literally over half my life, current life, and definitely half my adult life. I wouldn't have wasted all that if I did what I was supposed to do. Now let's look at some more examples of doing what you're supposed to do. Let's say you're driving. And you're just driving super slow in the fast lane. What are you actually supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be driving fast in the fast lane. You're supposed to be getting out of people's way in the fast lane. That's why it's called the fast lane. You go up to a turn and you slow down to 5 miles per hour. You don't need to be slowing down 5 miles per hour. You're making everyone else slow down behind you when they're all trying to get to work on time. That is called not doing what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing is being considerate of the people around you. You got to be considerate of people around you. That's what you're supposed to be doing when you don't want to do it. No one really wants to be that considerate of the people around them. No one wants to think, oh, I'm in these people's way, I should move. Or people just don't want to think about it in the first place. And that is wrong. We're supposed to be thoughtful. All right, if you're walking up, opening a door for yourself, and someone coming up behind you, open it for them real fast, and then walking behind them. It's called being courteous. It's called doing what you're supposed to be doing, thinking about other people, thinking about the people around you. That's how we build a better society in the first place. A society right now is crumbling and it's becoming trash. So we need to build a better one. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But a lot of times we're not doing that because we're not thinking about the people around us. We're not thinking about, oh, there's trash on the ground right there. Let me pick it up off my bathroom floor. Now my freaking house isn't filthy as shit. People don't think about that. People at the gym, they don't re-rack their weights. They're like, let's leave it here. The next person can take care of it. The next person comes in, barely can lift a 10-pound weight, and they now have to try to handle that 50-pound weight off that squat rack. Think about it. You over here walking through the library. There's a book on the ground. You're just going to leave it there, wait for the attendant to go pick it up? No, pick that shit up, put it on the shelf. You don't got to put it in the right spot. Just put it on the shelf. The attendant can come and put it in the right spot. But don't leave it on the ground. Someone's going to step on it and damage it. Be a good person. Think about your surroundings. Think about other people. Think about these things. These are what you're supposed to be doing. I could rant about that for a while. I will rant about that in future videos. But right now, we're going to switch gears one more time and do another supposed to story. Here's a story from the other day. The other day, my girlfriend was walking her dogs. She's like, let's go on a little jog. You know? Hey, that's great. I support the jog, the healthy lifestyle. She goes on a little jog, and one of her little two dogs decides to do a complete full stop right in front of her, causing her to trip and fall and mess up her entire right hand. I'm talking about like it cut deep on right there, and it cut deep right there on both sides, of the right hand, and messed up her wrist, messed up her forehead, messed up her lip, messed up this pinky over here, messed up her knees, messed up everything. I have never seen someone get this hurt from a fall. But why did the dog stop? Because the dog has not had its proper training from birth like it's supposed to. Because of that, it gets easily distracted and it's like, oh, squirrel, and stops. When dogs are young, I get that they do that, but you're supposed to train them out of that. She didn't train them when they're young, and when I entered in the picture, I started training them. She should have trained them more. She did some training like sit and get down and all this other stuff, but a lot of times they don't listen. They listen a lot more now. 6 months after me entering the picture and started training them. But now I'm ramping this training up. They like to pull on the leash. They pull in every direction. They freak out when they see another dog. They want to be able to use the restroom in the house whenever they want to. They want to do all these different things, bark and whine for our attention when we're doing something. They want to scratch at the door whenever they want in the other room instead of being well-behaved dogs and just chilling in the room that they've been allowed to go into. They want to hop on the bed when they're not supposed to. They want to do all these different things that they're not supposed to do. And if they got the training they were supposed to get, see that word supposed to? See how it's coming in now? If they got the training they were supposed to get when they were younger, they wouldn't be this bad off, and she never would have fell and injured herself so much. I'm actually staying the week at her house right now to take care of her, to cook for her, to clean, to walk the dogs. I'm happy to do it. I really am. I'm happy to do it because that's what I'm supposed to do, and I care about her, so I'm going to do that. So while I'm doing this, I am ramping up this training so hard. These dogs are getting intense training. Leash training to start with. We're doing the whole doorknob leash training trick. Look that up. We're doing the every time they try to pull, I stop. Wait for them to stop pulling. Then we start walking again. Walking them one at a time instead of two at a time so we can get the training done a little bit easier. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. We're doing you're not going to stop in front of me. I'm going to walk through you training. Not like kicking the dog. We're not kicking the dogs. We're not hurting the dogs. Just brushing past them, brushing through them, training them even to realize that they cannot just stand there and sit in front of us while we're walking, or they're going to get stepped on. We're not going to hurt them stepping on them. We're just going to kind of move them with our foot as we walk. That is the goal. That is one of the ways I am training them. I am training them not to pull on a leash. I am training them that whining is not going to get them what they want. Now, yes, if the dog is whining because it's hungry or it's thirsty or it needs to poop, yes, those are perfect examples to whine. But they're not supposed to whine when they want on the sofa. They will say no, and they're supposed to go, okay. They were never trained like they were supposed to be trained. So now I'm training them to be this way, because that's what I am supposed to do as the man who has entered this situation, this relationship. As adults, we're all supposed to do what we're supposed to do, including training our dogs. She was supposed to train her dogs. She didn't want to. She felt bad for the dogs. I get it. She got some training done. I clap my hands for that, because she got some training done. Some training, not so much. We're still working on things, you know. I have less of a, these poor dogs are sad kind of mentality, because they're dogs and they're supposed to act a certain way, behave a certain way, and not think that they're top notch. They think they're above us. We're not allowing that. I am training them to stop thinking that way, because they're not supposed to think that way. And we are supposed to train them to be dogs, not humans. They think they're humans right now. They think they're human teenagers. We're not allowing that. We're not doing that. So, as you can see, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do. Right now, I'm supposed to be clocking in at work. So I'm going to go ahead and get my seatbelt on and drive the 1 block over to my job. And I will talk to y'all here in a little bit, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, so it is now the next following day. I'm on my lunch break. So to wrap this video up, pretty much, there's things we have to do. You have to do those. You got to do those things. There's things we're supposed to do. We don't have to do them technically, but it's what we're supposed to do, so we should be doing them. We can go and move the supposed tos into the have tos. We have to do things. There's things out there you have to do, and then there's things out there that you want to do. So do the things you have to do things you're supposed to do. Help society, help your family, help everything you can. Let's build a better world together. Okay, that's what we want. We want to build a better world, build a better version of ourselves. Head outside everything. That is what we are aiming to do. So just do what you're supposed to do. And even if you don't want to, you got to do it. Hope you enjoy this video. Keep on going and growing and becoming the best person you can be. Raise yourself up to your highest potential and continue to grow in the ways that you are going to grow. And I'll catch you on the next video.